everyone, to the LEC live from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany. Zwyroo, can he play football as well as he can play League of Legends? I don't know. Maybe that would be a little OP. Who knows? FLICKR is telling us to shut up already. I like it. And I was told maybe we'll see some... Okay, here we go. Yes. BDS.
That is some Shrek.
That is amazing. Let's go, BDS. They got a win on the board yesterday as well, so it's great. Hello, everyone. My name is Shox, and I'm joined here today in the studio with our wonderful fans. I think the Fnatic Dragons are there once again. And also by Goldberg and by someone who was a weak side king when you were still in diapers, who made it to the World's semifinals, who is exceptional at swimming. Oh my God. Swimming, there we go, and who is as good on the desk as he is on the bench. Just ignore that whatever I said.
You have been throwing around
I'm not going to say anything, but yeah,
Swimming.
Yeah, I'm good at swimming. I'm good on the bench. I'm also good on the analyst desk.
Yeah.
So everything's good.
I'm never going to try to freewheel an introduction ever again. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of things that happened yesterday. Goldberg, SK Gaming, they have a new bot lane, and to be honest, they were really impressive.
Yo, I gotta say that laning phase was kind of smurf from them. What we saw with they did against Rogue, you can argue that the first dive is just good setup play, and you can then say, well, that's really good integration into the new SK roster. But also just after this dive, the fact that they're able to turn it into a 3 versus 2 and just playing cool, calm, collected by themselves in their first stage game on the LEC, that's really impressive and a good sign if you're an SK fan.
Yeah, definitely, because there was a lot of pressure on them being put especially with this draft, playing Varus Ashe. That's a lot of confidence being given to them from the whole, SK lineup, and they delivered big time. I feel like throughout every point in the game, they've been doing good, finding arrows, finding picks with their champions, setting everyone up for success. I think they did a pretty good job for their first game here.
I think they did as well as they could do, right? And I know there was a lot of, oh, what is this going to be? Are we going back to the era of just getting imports for the sake of getting imports? So I definitely hope that there is a lot behind this in terms of the scouting and that they are the right fit for this team and that they bring SK to higher heights. But one game sample, everyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also think like you could reach into that mid-game as well. There was a lot of arrows that didn't connect. There is still the messiness coming about it of SK still not being as clear-cut as they can be. But once again, really good start to the season for them.
A good start. That's what we want to see. Of course, for this whole summer, what is so interesting is that if you get to the top 3, you can still make it to Worlds. And I think a lot of people are looking at KC specifically, Odo. They made a big overhaul coming into the summer. What did you think of their first game versus Fnatic?
Pretty positive, I mean, they ended up losing, but even here we see that they're being a lot more proactive. There's playing to win conditions and everything. I really liked Closer and Kana in the early stages of the game, and Closer throughout the whole game. He was a little bit of my question mark of how would he integrate on the squad after the failed end of the 100 Thieves stint. But they've been looking pretty good.
Well, am I a bronze from home, Andy? Because I wasn't too happy with what I saw. I think Kana, yes, they had the early moves and whatnot, but in terms of what I expected,
What was your expectation of KC?
Well, I think one is that in the top lane, obviously you make a change for a reason, right? That you think that's gonna really show in the first game, especially versus someone with a lot less experience than you. And what was most frustrating is that unfortunately, a lot of games seemed like the ones they lost already in the previous parts of the year, where specifically versus Fnatic also, they got ahead and then they can't seem to push that.
Yes, but I also think there was a lot of times where they didn't get ahead at all, and they just got completely outmatched.
That's true.
And those are often the losses that I remember a lot from them. So to see them not just get completely outgapped individually on each role, that was nice to see. But obviously there's still some blunders, right? A Jax into an R5 Poppy, the throws we're then seeing in the mid to late game where the objective setup just isn't there and you're going into the skirmishes of chokehomes. But yeah, I think still fine, good start, like better than I expected.
We want to see them do that upwards trajectory, right, Toto? So I think we're being a little harsh on them for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of good things. I think they did blunder in the draft. I feel like it was an impossible task for them given how the draft looked like. But, they still faltered on the objective setups. But at least we saw a lot more coordination and setting it up and being playing a lot well. Okay. A lot better together.
A lot better. Fair. We'll see how they do today. Now, yesterday also for Mad Lions Koi, Elyoya was playing the first Zyra jungle in the LEC ever. Luckily, we have a couple of experts, Broxa and Lord, to break it down.
I mean, of course, my girl is back. She's flexible now. She still sucks. She's still losing, but at least it's a flex
Are you
build.
sure about that?
No, honestly, given the early game, I think it went well. The thing is, we're still not picking back up win, but I think we can talk about what happened this game, because when we know what happened for Mad Lions at the beginning of the year, they got success through being creative. And I do feel like when you're going to play against G2 Esports, you can't play standard League of Legends. So I do feel like there's an argument that Zyra from LEC in the jungle yesterday could have been a great pick. If some people want to play it at home, though, this is how it goes. I feel like we had a standard rune set. There's an argument that can be made between Electrocute and Dark Harvest, but I do feel like what we saw from him, Broxa, was kind of what you can expect from Zyra.
Yeah, this is pretty standard Zyra jungle stuff. These are the runes that you should be looking into if you want to try it out in your own solo queue games. Core build being either the red or the blue jungle item. You can get Lucidity or Sorcerer Shoes, Liandry, Rylai, Cryptloom. You can consider adding a Blackfire Torch, but yeah, this is the Elioya recipe to hopefully Zyra success.
Get a bit more beefy with some HP here and there, but also the fact that you played in the jungle, unlike support where you're not going to have a lot of resources, you get so much more gold faster to do all the damage you want to do in the early game. What can be expected from Zyra jungle here? We know that the clear is super fast. I think Yuya ended at 3:10 to 15, but if you really, really maximize it, I think the world record is at 2:44. That's what you want to see
I
here.
think we should pull up his clear to begin with to look a bit at Zyra jungle pathing and how you can optimize and really get that super fast clear. So as we roll out the clip, we can see that he starts on the red buff. Make sure to stand there a little bit early so seeds will start spawning. Smites red to get level 2 earlier, moves directly to Crocs, and in a lot of ways a very standard jungle clear on the current patch where you just go from red to blue side. You make sure to do Wolves and Grump, leaving blue for last. So on your second clear, you can do all the jungle camps one after the other. You have blue buff up for a bit longer as well. But like you said, Law, 3:10, that's not ideal. It should have been at least 20 seconds sooner.
And that's the thing,
And the reason is, he didn't do Crocs over the wall. He didn't, manipulate his seeds and use them perfectly. But despite that, man, is it strong into the enemy comp. Like if you're up against Camille, Sejuani, Taric, all these champs that just want to go forward, as you saw right here, Zyra's ult, her root, everything she offers just makes it so difficult for them to walk back out once they've already engaged.
Yeah, it was a super welcome to play into, I feel, but as the Zyra biased OTP, I have to say that when you want to play these team fights, what I would love to do here is him playing maybe more around the positioning of the Ws, because you really, really want to maximize the fact that the opponents are going to run at you, set up the plans the best you can so that once they're in, they can't go back. You set up the ult, and this is when you get them. I do feel like his early game performance was amazing, but I wish I would have seen a bit more maybe in the later stages of the game. Could they, though? With what he did, I feel like it was
I think more than anything, they just took Zyra and then played the game the way they normally would instead of playing it around the pick, as they were really good at earlier in the year. And yeah, I guess Elioya, next time, ask Law for a bit of advice and you're going to be good to go. Maybe it could have been a W.
Surely that's how you win games. Well, thank you also for playing this year. Yeah, we love the creativity. Maybe we're going to see more today. Shox, what do you think?
AB, would you have won the game if you were playing this? You would. I believe you. I definitely do. But we love to see the creativity. Nonetheless, our first game of the day will be BDS up against Team Heretics. Let's talk about BDS yesterday. Man, was it rough in the early game. And I hate to also point out that the opponent was maybe running it down a little bit in terms of vitality, Goldberg, but they were given a couple of gifts.
I certainly agree with you, because it's not often I feel like a team that has this rough of a start can come back on their own terms, and then didn't either. But let's start with the beginning, right? Ice completely forced out of the laning phase in the beginning from the bot side. Mid lane as well, that's also a losing lane where bot lane priority suddenly becomes mid lane priority. Okay, now he can play the game. What do we do in top side on an individual level as well? Well, we get to see it in just a second as well, with a solo kill as well coming through from Photon. So BDS faltering on all fronts in the early game.
Yeah, it really didn't look great, because after this early game, I feel like there's just no setup anywhere. I also didn't really like the priorities that they've been having in the draft, where I feel like Diego doesn't really have a lot of friends, especially after what happened in the early game on the bot lane. So I don't know, they won in their traditional BDS fashion. Losing lanes everywhere, then some miracle happens at one point in the mid game where they're like, okay, our setups are good, but I don't even know if they were that good yesterday. It was more like Vitality dropping the ball repeatedly.
Absolutely.
And after that, they they get an random Nash and win the game.
It makes sense. We talked to Jankos from Team Heretics after the team that BDS is playing now. He also said, I wasn't happy with the way we played either yesterday versus Giant X. We also dropped the ball a lot, but they won. So what can we look forward to for Team Heretics?
Yeah, even if you say that, I was really happy with what they played because I felt like there was a lot of thought and a lot of setup. They found really good ways to counter GX's team comp. You know, everyone was marking the Zac. At least there was one person looking at him all the time. And every single time, like even now in this replay, Zinza was ulting the Zac away, and it's really, really hard for him to find anything. So they had a clear setup, a clear game plan, and they've been rolling with it for the whole game.
Yeah, but I also think that, to go back to what Janko said, they could have upped the pace a bit more when they got these leads, and they could have looked for more plays. As you, of course, said, they win anyway, but it was in a very slow fashion. It was in an individual level that it came down to in the team fights, but you could have forced that more often. You could take more advantage of the leads that you have, but still, they take the win on game 1.
Yeah, they do, and we love an introspective king, even on a win, getting that criticism in to see what happens. But now we're going to head over to Laura, who's standing by with Zwyroo in the Marriott Bonvoy pre-game lobby.
We're back here in the interview lounge with Heretics mid laner Zwyroo. How are you doing? I feel like I'm saying your name differently every time, Zwyroo.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really mind. Zwyroo sounds a bit weird. I remember in Italian league they were doing it. I told them to not do, but I don't mind. So for me, it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't mind, but it's like it sounds like different player.
All right. Well, you're coming back this split. It's different for you. You were the rookie last time, having to take in from Perks. Big shoes to fill, but still, I feel like you've been doing an amazing job. But how is the approach for this split now that you had one split to get your groove going with the team and everything? What is the goal here for you?
I mean, I feel this split way better because I feel like as a team we are on the same page, at least in that discipline way, I would say. Like we improved a lot and our scrims are going in this way better. I feel like we are, even though like if we lose scrims, I feel like I always take something out. Last split I didn't feel it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And about the rookie, I still feel like rookie, you know.
I mean, you were already confident when we talked last split. I remember at the desk about yourself, your level within the league, the fact that you considered yourself a pretty good mid laner in the LEC. How comfortable are you right now? What is the level of comfort, especially when you consider the mid lane changes, more AD champions coming in? Maybe that's at least what we expect. But how comfortable do you feel right now?
I feel like 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, for me it's the same as last split mostly. I still like enjoy release scrims and playing against other mid laners because I feel like they are good or some of them are really good. So for me, everything is the same. I feel really confident. When I play against someone, I mostly play against myself, you know, because it's like I need to be better every day. If someone is showing like he's better, next time I meet him, we fight again.
How do we get to 10 then? You said 9 out of 10.
I'm not sure if you can get to 10 because like I put up my ceiling really high, so I don't think I will ever hit it in a way, but this makes me better every day and like grind more.
Any words on Nuke and what you're gonna do to him today?
It's hard to say. I know we expect like some like I will punish him or something like this. Yeah. It depends on the matchup, right? Maybe he wants to go Talia and just scale like yesterday, you know, like play the lane, like please help me guys, you know, stuff like this. Maybe I will be the one playing Talia again and just asking for help, you know. We will see on the matchup. I hope we will just win as a team.
Yeah, no 1v2 for you against.
I hope like Sheo, if you're looking at this, don't commit. Labrov, if you're looking at this, don't commit. Leave it 1v1. If you want to commit, just take the prio and go away. Just leave 1v1 for 1v1.
Heard the man. Thank you so much. Best of luck in your matchup today.
Thank you so much.